Hi, welcome to Whirly Girl Inc., a show about general crafting and things. I am your host, Rachel. You can find me on Instagram as Whirly Girl Inc., INK. And if you go to my bio on Instagram, it'll get you to all of the websites, blogs, things like that I have. So, not that it's that I'm super active with it, but it's there. Yeah, so today is June 16th. It's a Tuesday, and I figured since I'm working evenings for the next few nights and I was all dolled up for work, that I would record so I look less tired than some other times. But yeah, so I'll just jump right into it. So I'll start with things that I'm working on. So I decided, since I finished the sweater last time, I decided to start another one. And this one, it's called Dissent. Let's see. Show it. Not my face. Her face. Well. Okay. So, color work. There we go. So this is based off of, well, it's by Andrea Rangel. And, oopsies, jeez. And it's based off of, I just forgot her name. The judge, oh my gosh. Court Justice Ruth Ginsburg. So, how she always wears the lace thing, so that's what it's kind of designed off of, and I thought that was kind of cool. So it's a combination of her design, or the designer's design, and then notes from the Knitter's Book of Top-Down Sweaters. This thing. Because I use that thing for everything. I love that book. So the yarns that I'm using, so the full body of it is going to be, so I have all my yarns on my little thing, but the body is this Lemongrass by Knitted Wit, and then Emma's yarn, it's a Mohair blend. So it's, those two are the body of it, and then the collar and the bottom of it and the cuffs are all Alexandra yarns. This one up here, I'll show it all in a minute. It'll make a little bit more sense. Yeah, because I needed something that would go, like, I needed something kind of offset from it. And then the color work part of it is the, this one. This is the other color work part of it. Oh my gosh. So, this is also take 2 of this video, because the first one started out with dogs barking and my eye did this weird thing. Anyway, I wasn't prepared. But, so this is what I have started on the sweater. So this is the neckline of it. The original pattern has a tighter neckline, but I like boat necks, so I redid it to make the wider neck. And then, yeah, the yellow is the actual colorwork part, and then this green down here is what the whole body's going to be of. And then I'm steeking it to have a button band, because I want more cardigans. Because, whatever. I don't care. I want more cardigans. I have a lot of pullovers, and I want more cardigans. So, I'm making it into a cardigan, and it's really funny because my friend was telling me that it's the Packers colors, and my high school colors were the Packers colors, so that's what kind of why I put the blue up here, is to break it up a little bit of being just Packers colors. But I mean, the color work is pretty. If it will focus on the color work, there you go. Yeah, I mean, the color work's pretty. It looks a little bit like stained glass type of thing. So yeah, so I'm working on that. Back to me. Come back. My camera's sleepy today too, apparently. And I said on a previous episode that I had, like, my birthday was a little while ago, so I ordered some yarn for my birthday. I haven't bought yarn since like, my friend and I went on a trip to Asheville, North Carolina, and I had bought yarn then, and then I haven't bought any yarn since then, and I think that might have been the only yarn that I bought in 2019. So I ordered yarn from Molly Klein Design. So these are the two yarns, right? Okay, so when it's funny, I ordered them and then I got them like 6 weeks later, which is, I mean, it's fine for hand-dyed yarn and stuff, like it's great. So this one right here, the purple and pink and stuff, is Whack It Weezer. So it's a Steel Magnolias reference, and I love Steel Magnolias, so that's why I got this one. I don't actually know why I bought this one. Like, I like it. It's blue and white, and I like it and all, but when it was funny because, you know, I ordered them, and then 6 weeks later, I was like, why did I order these? So I'll figure out something to do with them. But I really like them. There's her tag. Not my face, camera. Oh, my camera's sleepy. But they're merino nylon, so I knit some socks, but, come back, come back, camera. Camera. Thank you. Apparently my camera is very tired today. But generally when I do socks, I like to do self-striping socks because I do. So I don't usually even use the sock yarns that I buy, like the nylon blend sock yarns. I don't generally make socks with them because of, like I like self-striping ones. So most of the time I make like hats and things out of them. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I'll figure it out. So that was the last of my birthday. But so then so I haven't really been working on a heck of a lot because I haven't been in a knitting mood very much lately. Not because it's hot or anything, just a slump. But there's been like a lot of crazy going on right now in the world, and I know everybody has heard, of all this stuff. So it's like, 2020 is the year of just change and just reform and change and things. So kicked off with the coronavirus stuff, which totally, changed the way that everybody's doing everything. And then a lot of political movements and racial movements and things like that. So there's been a lot to it. So it's been a lot for people to think about if you choose to think about it. So like for me, the things that are happening now have been big issues through my life as far as like things that I care about and that I pay attention to, and human rights and stuff like that. And so it's been a lot to take in and figure out the best way to be supportive and letting people's voices be heard, because my voice doesn't need to be heard right now. I mean, as I'm recording a podcast to a few people, but on these issues, it's issues of me supporting people, not not needing to be on the forefront of saying anything. I want to, I'm in the listen and learn and try to be an activist as much as I can be, and support what's right. So anyway, this isn't, I'm not trying to put any sort of political views, spins, bias, or anything into this. It's just a matter of, I'm the type of person that when I need to think, I need to have a big project that is very like all-encompassing, so that I don't have to, so I'm not, my attention's divided, but it's easier to divide it on something that I need a process. So lately, okay, so that's why, like, I made the loft bed for my daughter, because it gives me something to plan out, and then once the planning is done, I need to be in the moment of, building these things and stuff, but I can think while I'm doing it, because I'm a tactile learner, so like I need to be moving to learn things and remember things. So like I'm the type of learner that I study best like if I have like a stress ball that I'm playing with or something, because I can't just sit there and read and learn something. I have to be moving while I'm doing it. And so anyway, I learn by touch, I learn by doing, and then, yeah, like, anyway, because there's some people see and learn things, and some people are visual learners, and then, yeah. So, all of that is to say that when I need to not have stress or anxiety or other big emotions and big feels take over, I plan out big projects to do. So that's why the bed made that. So then I was trying to find other things to do around the house that are big projects that aren't as like, you know, without spending thousands of dollars, you know, like we're going to redo the floors and things like that, but like that's not really where I'm at the moment. Like we're not there financially to do that part yet. So anyway, so it's other projects. So I like repurposing things. I don't really like having a lot of waste. So I took the closet doors off of my kids' closet, and they're like the accordion style where with little kids, like fingers get, like even as an adult, your fingers can get smushed in it. So with little kids, it's really easy to get fingers smushed in it. And anyway, so I took those closet doors off. I have not replaced them because she's 6. She doesn't, like, I mean, like, not that you have to be an age to have a closet door. She doesn't need a closet door right now. Like, she doesn't need it. So anyway, I took those off, and I took them apart, and I made shelves out of them. So I was hanging up those shelves in my room, and then my bedroom has like a big picture window with like a half circle window where like it looks like a sad face, like that, like half circle, where the diameter cut is on the bottom, and that's so that kind of window, and it had blackout curtains on it, and it had this like fan curtain thing in the half circle part of it, and I took the blackout curtains down because if there are blackout curtains up in my room, I will sleep all day. Like I'll stay up all night and sleep all day because I don't sleep very well, but I do sleep during the day well. And my daughter is like that too. It's very weird, but or not weird, but like it is what it is that I don't sleep at night very well, and neither does she. So if I have blackout curtains on, I will sleep all day, and adult. So I should probably keep adult hours, you know, get up sometime morning. I mean, I also work, and I don't work at night very often, but most of the time I'm working during the day. So those kind of things, I need to take the blackout curtains down. So I took the blackout curtains down, and then the fan thing that was above it accidentally fell down. So I was like, okay, well that's all right. It's a lot of light in my room. It helps me wake up in the morning. It's fine. Except that when the sun comes up, it comes straight into that window and on my face. So although I need to get up, I don't need to get up at sunrise. Like it's summer in the south. Well, it's spring still, but soon to be summer in the south. And sunrise is at like 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever. It's not, but it's seriously at like 4:45. I don't need to get up at 4:45. That's not adult. That's past adult. That's later. That's like professional real life adult later on, and I'm not there. So I needed something to like diffuse the light a little bit, to break up the blaring giant ball coming at me in the morning. So my brain went to stained glass. So I started to do stained glass, and found this awesome shop here that's a stained glass shop, and bought stuff. Because as a crafter, like if I ever do like a tour of my craft room, and a tour, like it's like it's a room, and I'm lucky I have a whole room to myself, but it's more like, you know, the camera going around and saying, oh, this is where this is, and this is where. Anyway, if I do that, I'm eclectic on my crafting. I like to do all the things. I have stuff from sculpting to now stained glass, painting, even though I suck at painting, to like t-shirt printing thing, to, okay, my son's going crazy out there, to like paper printing stuff. The only craft that I've never really been into is like scrapbooking. I'm much more just like stick a bunch of pictures together and let them speak for themselves instead of, you know, doing all the things with it. It just has never been my thing. That's okay, because I do a lot of other weird stuff that other people, like crafts that other people don't understand. Fine. But part of that is that with all the crafting, there's a thing of like, why spend $10 on something that I can spend $200 on crafting supplies and make myself? Yeah, that's me. But the stained glass was so much fun, and I will say it's cheaper because I was looking at stained glass inserts for the window, and so it was actually cheaper for me to make it myself in this instance than to buy it, because the thing is like probably like 2.5, 3 feet wide by like 1.5 feet tall. So I tried to take some video of the process of how I went about doing this, and if I can do that, I'm going to put the video here. So the tools I'm going to use today, so I have safety gloves. They're gardening gloves, but just because the little pieces of glass kind of get into it. I need to make a circle to make the hexagons. So hard cardboard pencil, marker. This is a quilting ruler to make straight lines. This is for scoring and cutting the glass. Let's see. It's got a wheel on the front of it like that, and then you put oil in the back of it to keep it oiled up. And then these are special glass cutting pliers that have how it's a little bit curved there. It cuts the glass really well. So the first thing I need to do is I need to make my hexagon. So I have it set up to, this is kind of difficult to see, isn't it, with where the light is coming from. So I have my protractor set to 1 inch, and then I'll make a circle. Okay, and then you just put the point at a spot on the circle and mark 1 inch. Next point, 1 inch. The next point, and you go all the way around, marking 1 inch. Increments. Oh, I forgot I'm using scissors too. So hopefully this shows up okay. Alright, so I made my 1 inch circle. This is kind of hard to see, isn't it? And then made my marks at 1 inch intervals around the circle, and then I will draw lines connecting those marks. Okay, and then scissors, cut it out. And there you go. I have a hexagon. Okay. So then the next thing that we need to do is cut a strip of the glass. So the glass that I'm using, all of them are just different sizes of cathedral glass, so the glass that's see-through, different ones. Some of them have texture, some of them don't. Let me put on my gloves. Okay. Do. Okay. I remembered I wanted my cutting mat down first, so alright. So I'll start with this one. Bring it up. And then I use my ruler and line that up. Then you just want to score with this. Right, so now I have my strip of glass and put my hexagon on it. Draw. Do. And then I will go through and I will score each of these. So, let's see if I can get, over the side. Let's see if I can get it right over here. So, I'll take this and score. And you just draw along the line that you're going to cut. I know that's kind of difficult to see. So I'll just sometimes I mess it up like I just did there. And okay, so once all the scores are done, then you take this part and there's a little line on the top of it. I normally do this into a bowl to catch these little bits, so I don't have to pick them up later, but I'll do that later. Now, the nice thing about this project is that even if some of the hexagons don't turn out right, you can still make it work. believe me, as I'm practicing cutting. Not all my hexagons turn out right. So you make as many hexagons in the different colors of glass that you want. And then the next thing that you're going to do is smooth out any of the rough edges. So this doesn't shape like hard shapes or anything like that. It just takes off any parts that might just have a little bit of a lip on it, because when we go to foil, it doesn't make it as nice and neat. And then like here, see how there's the, okay, that doesn't help at all, does it? That little jagged edge right there, you can take that off with it. I usually do this step once I have all my hexagons cut out, and I do it outside, but you really don't need to see me file them down. So that would be the next thing. So cut out all the hexagons and then file the edges, and then we will go on to the next part. So now we're going to do the foiling part. So there's this. Okay, and this for brandishing. If my camera wants to, for brandishing. And then I have my hexagon that I took the sharp edges off of it. So, and then scissors. So what you do is take the foil, and it's got a sticky side. I'm using black backed foil because I'm going to patina this in black. So you wrap it around, make sure that it stays centered. Okay. Why? You don't need to focus on that. Cut. Cut. Okay, and then you squish the edges down like this. Okay, and then you take your brandishing tool, and then you smooth out each edge. So I generally do this, smooth out this so that it adheres really nicely to it. Make sure that you get all sides of it, because so when we go to solder, the solder only attaches to where there's metal, so, or where this foil is, it doesn't attach to the glass. So if it's not stuck to it, the solder will just come off and it looks really messy. And then also, if there are any spots that have like a lip or something like that, you'll want to go through and clean them up. So like right here, see how that part, I don't know if you can really see that very well, but it will stand out a lot. So I just take my X-Acto knife and I'll just sort of make it look less noticeable. Or sometimes where the foil meets. Let's see if we can get it to focus a little bit better. Okay, well, so sometimes where the foil meets and there's that overlap, I'll just sort of, so that's how you foil all the pieces. I have all the rest of them all foiled There's all my yellow pieces, all the ones like I just did, and then all my kind of darker brown ones, and then all of my red ones. So that is how I foiled all the pieces. Okay, so now we're to the fun part. So the items I'm going to use for this part, so I want to make sure I'm safe. I have safety gloves on, and I have a fan for the fumes. So I have my heat gun, or my soldering iron, FX601 by Kale, Heiko. So this one is awesome. And then I got, hey, stop. And then I have my safety flux. So I just pour a little bit in here. Oops. That's not what I meant to do, but whatever. Okay, and then I have my solder. It's a 60-40 solder, 60-40 tin and lead. Okay, and then this, and then all my pieces. So come over here, and then I just kind of spread some of the pieces around. So that I have some different kinds to choose from for the different colors, for the different sizes. And like I said before, the hexagons are really forgiving for when you don't make the right size of one, so that's always nice. But I just sort of go through and see if I can find one that'll fit, and one that kind of makes sense to fit in there. So and go over here. So this one fits. So why don't I move this over to, we'll show this one. Okay. So that one fits really, really well there. So I'll take my flex and I will. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to what's called tack it down so that it doesn't move anywhere. So you just put a little bit on, and then there, so that it doesn't go anywhere before you're ready. Okay, so then once you have it, so I would do a bunch of them, and then once you have it tacked down, then you can add the solder to it. So this first bead, I really do just to get a good bead, well, just to get it a nice line of solder on there, and then I will go through and clean it all up. So you can tell areas that didn't get any solder on them, or it didn't get any flux on them, because you can always go back through and clean stuff up like this. Yeah, and also knowing what side is the front of your piece and the back of your piece, so that you don't have to worry, or you know, like one side you don't have to worry about as much of it being nice and neat. So if you don't like the way that it looks, you can always go through and you can remelt it to clean it up a bit, or to make a better bead, to make it look all nice and neat like that. So I'll finish doing the rest of these, and then I will flip it over and I will do the other side. I will solder the other side of it as well. So that's the basic idea of what I'm doing here. And the finished product is a bee, like hexagons for bees, to make like a honeycomb. And because bees are cool. So I did the bees, I did the honeycomb, and then I made these glass bees to cover my mistakes, because although it was very forgiving for the hexagons, there came a point, so I started like on the bottom and then went up to the middle. So like this part and this part look great, but then the middle part of it, there was like way bigger gaps and things like that. So every place that there was a gap and I needed to cover something, I stuck a bee. I made a bee and stuck it there. And then I made little wire antennas for them and stuff. And then I made a big butterfly, because at the glass shop they have, so you can buy their leftover glass from projects that they do for like $2 a pound. So I could try different types of glass. So I got some really cool different kinds of glass that I made the butterfly out of, and I thought that the butterfly turned out really pretty. So I did that. So the people that are watching this that are family members and generally receive Christmas gifts from me, you will probably get something involved with glass, because it's really fun. Like the process of it. Alright, so again, adult. So I'm not supposed to break things on purpose, like, like destroying. But like, who doesn't enjoy destroying something periodically? Like, I think everybody probably likes destroying something every once in a while. So doing the glass, like, so you score the glass, and then there's this plier set that, like, it's got like, the top is like curved, right? So it's a little bit concave. And then the bottom is straight, and you put the score in the middle of it, and then you clamp down, and it like breaks where the score is. So it's controlled breaking. So again, adult. So I'm not supposed to just go out and destroy stuff, except I do want to go to one of those like destroy rooms things. Like, I do want to go to one of those where you can you spend like a half an hour and you get to break a bunch of stuff. I would like to do one of those, but so, because that's controlled breaking too. But anyway, so but making the stained glass, it's very much controlled breaking, because you put the thing on there, and like I was watching a bunch of videos like on how to do curves, because you can't just like score it and then put the thing on it for a curve and then have it just magically do the curve, because the glass, it wants to go more in a straight line. Anyway, so like how to do controlled breakage, like you start the crack a little bit and then you tap underneath it and it follows the little thing. It's really fun. Yeah, I really enjoy it. Right now I'm doing it with foil wrapping on the edges and then soldering, because I was doing soldering for some of my stitch markers in my Etsy shop to close my rings, to make them a little bit more stable. So I was doing that, and that's why I prefer to do solder instead of having an open flame, because I'm a little bit of a pyro. I'm not doing anything illegal pyro wise, but I do like a good fire. So anyway, but I think that doing soldering with open flame would be bad for me, because I think it would just go like, I don't need to build a forge in my backyard. I kind of want to, but I don't need to. Yeah, and I do have a friend that's a blacksmith, and she has a forge and stuff, so if I really need to, I can go over to her house and do it. Which I might. So, all that is that my finished object, I showed it to you, it's the stained glass window for it. And now I need to figure out another project. I need to make, my son also wants a loft bed, so I need to draw that up, but he wants it to look like a tree house. So with my daughter's room, I try not to do anything like super specific for decorating. You know, like she's got, like, we put chevrons on the wall that are sparkly paint and, like, you know, the lighting and stuff, but there's no like specific characters. So you know, because if, you know, and she's not into Teletubbies, but like, you know, like if she was into Teletubbies and was like, oh, I want Teletubbies. I was trying not to do anything like super specific characters, so that as she grows, she's a little bit fickle, but I don't have to like redo her room, even though now she wants me to redo her room again because she wants an art studio, and I just made one of the downstairs rooms into a classroom art thing for them because I needed my dining room table back. And also I don't know if school is going to, what school's gonna do, like if they're gonna go back to school or homeschooling, or if the COVID is gonna do another round. I don't know, but I needed a place that they could do their schoolwork and things like that, in a good, healthy learning environment type of thing, instead of the kitchen table. So she wants me to redo her room. So then with my son's room, so I think I'm gonna turn it into a tree, which is still pretty generic, and he can grow into it. Right now, his room, we didn't paint it from when the previous owners had the house, and they were New York Giants fans. So the room is like blue, white, and red. It's got the, not wainscoting, but the like the ledgy stuff that divides a room in half. This might be the only room in the house that doesn't have it. Anyway, the bottom's blue, and then I think it's blue, or maybe you just said the stripe. Anyway, it's blue with a little red stripe and then white, which she doesn't mind the colors of it because it goes well with, like, he's got like a Mario decal thing on there. So I don't know if I'm gonna do it more Mario themed because he's not really as fickle, but he you know, I want him to be able to grow into the room as well and make it a little bit more generic. So I need to design that. And then I have to actually do my plans for the deck. So I was supposed to get a deck in the backyard because I have a really good backyard for a deck, and I like being outside. Not like outdoorsy outside, like sitting in a comfy chair outside. Yeah, like I'm not so much outdoorsy. But I was supposed to get a deck during spring break, but the family members coming to help me weren't able to come, and so then COVID and stuff happened. So anyway, I was talking about, yeah, I have to actually design the deck and get the plans put into the building the building permit office and stuff, and actually like plan out getting things for it and doing that. So that would be a good thing to plan. I mean, work is kicking off, is getting a little bit better too, as far as having stuff to do, which is why I'm going into work like 3 days, well, four out of the 5 days this week, which is a big deal because I've only been to work like 2 days since this whole thing started. And everything else has been telework. But yeah, so I gotta plan that out and get that done. As far as like things that I'm reading, so I finished one book. I haven't been really in a good reading spot either, like, I don't know. So I had started reading the T.H. White, Once and Future King. I started reading that and it was fine and all, but I needed something a little less. So I started reading Dan Brown's Origin, because I liked all the rest of the Dan Brown books, and like Da Vinci Code and stuff. So I started reading Origin, and like, it's fine. I'm like 100 pages into it, and I don't know if anybody else has read it or not, but like, what I really liked about Da Vinci Code and stuff was, you know, how quickly it moved and the historic content and things like that. and like the different arts. But sorry, I just got the card was full. Yeah, so the Dan Brown book. Yeah, so what I really liked about Da Vinci Code, yeah, was like how the story progressed, and it was like these things happen in order, whatever. What I don't like about the Origin book is I'm like, what, 100 pages into it or something like that, and every single chapter ends with the same cliffhanger. Like, it's fine that chapters have cliffhangers. I get it with how, writing, you want them to keep, you want the reader to be engaged and keep reading and things like that. But move on with the story. Like, so dude is making this big announcement, and every single chapter ends with, but what did he discover? Okay, great. Or don't use that as a cliffhanger for each one. Like, you can have, like, multiple threads of a story. Like, but what did he discover on this one? And then, like, but, dude was out to get him. Or whatever. But I hate when it's the same cliffhanger at the end of every chapter. Like, when will, like, but is it a tumor? And you're just like, dude, move on with the story. Or figure out a different writing technique. I mean, like, he's a very good writer. It's not like I could write better than he did. Like, that's not it. It's just like, I need the story to progress, because I am reading this to get away from my normal life, and I just need I need the story to progress a little bit instead of just being frustrated with it. So yeah. And then, like, I went to Barnes and Nobles and I didn't buy any books. I was going to, but I didn't. But I mean, I didn't buy any books for me. I bought stuff to help the kids with school stuff for the summer, because, like the summer slide, the summer decline, whatever people call it, where, what they learn through school year, they lose part of it during summer break. Well, since summer break started on March 13th, sort of. I mean, I know homeschooling and stuff, but it's still not the same. Is that I was trying to find stuff that they would enjoy doing to keep them motivated through the summer. So, yeah. Otherwise, yeah, not a heck of a lot going on. I'm hoping to get out of my schlumpy schlump and, yeah, be more a little. Yeah, that's gooder English than better. But yeah, just I don't know, be a little more creative, because my life right now isn't very creative. It's like, I don't know. I'm very much in Groundhog Day right now. So anyway, I hope that everyone is doing well, staying healthy, and staying sane, and that if you can bring good to the world, that you're bringing good to the world, and don't be a crappy person, because there are enough crappy people out there. Yeah, and so thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.